Hey Matt, thanks for coming in today to talk to us about our Sneakerheads project. You run and operate Highs and Lows. Can you tell us a little about that?
So it's a West Australian founded business. It started in 2005 in Mount Lawley. And basically when it was built, the idea when we opened was to be like a premier skate store.
Sure.
So to kind of put skateboarding in and showcase it in a way that represented it not like slat wall and as like a second-hand sport or something that didn't have any artistic integrity or design aesthetic. So it was almost like building a store that also was about how it looked and kind of making it like a special, almost like your most favorite room in your house, like a boudoir or something like that, and then putting items in that give them a sense of purpose and I suppose just real quality. Growing up, you know, shopping in major malls or back in the day and even in skate shops, it was slat wall, it was all off the shelf. No one was really doing artisan fit outs unless you were a very high-end boutique. So the idea was to try and to borrow more an international idea of how people were representing. And I suppose in 2005, sneaker culture was only just starting to bubble. It was very sort of surface. And I suppose just kind of felt a need and wasn't finding it. And usually that's how most things happen. You see a gap in the market, maybe whether or not you realise it's as big as it could be, but this turned out to be a massive tear.
For sure. So what shoes were you selling in the early days of Highs and Lows?
It took us a while to get those major accounts because of the sort of restraints of bigger brands and also a little bit of fear that maybe we wouldn't be able to grow in that direction. So when we first opened, we kind of kept it pretty core skate. And it was really about trying to be like people we looked up to, like, you know, like a Supreme store that really, and boutique stores like Huff and things like that that were popping up.
So were you doing Vans and S?
So Vans, S shoes. We were still being very, very selective. But then we were trying to get things that also in skateboarding that we loved as children. So like Puma, Adidas shell toes. You wouldn't believe that like you could not get a shell toe because they're a Foot Locker exclusive. That's how hard it was.
So what stories do you think sneakers tell?
I think in everyone's life, like something has engaged them that you know, necessarily, like for me, skateboarding was a thing that like basically put it all together. It made me, you know, skateboarding and music, like those things just enabled me to find my own individuality and express
so
it.
You like wearing Vans and listening to hardcore and that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, before I didn't even know about Vans shoes. The things that I knew about when I was younger was Airwalk and Vision Streetwear. So I suppose one of my stories, if I was to talk about a pair of shoes that meant the world to me, was I've got a pair of Airwalk Flames, and these were like, they had a lace saver on them. They were black suede. They had all this like flaming, like screen printed on the canvas, and then they had the Airwalk sign off over the top. And I love these things. I thought these were the most amazing thing.
So what do you think about sneakers now?
I suppose like now, as I've gotten older and I'm turning 40, I look at footwear in a very different way. The design of the shoe, the comfort of the shoe, and the simplicity of it. I want to wake up in the morning and be able to put that shoe on and then, to be honest with you, go to work all day, walk in it, and then go to the gym or even go out.
Should sneakers be in an art gallery?
My personal opinion about sneakers is there is such a level of design and artistry into them, but not all of them. It's like with anything in art, like filters need to be required. But having the right person filter it is very important. I always like kind of use the terminology about Rick Rubin being in a room with so many big name artists, but still being able to tell them that song's not very good. You know, we can make this better. I think that is also, I think like always, like footwear is something that can always be improved, but making a classic, like to make it, you know, they always say that like, you know, easier is harder, you know, all those sort of like sayings. It really does come back to like the things that stand the test of time are the things that are simple, that are well thought out, and are very considered. Like, considered is the key word to great design, especially in sneakers.
So what's the classic sneaker for you?
It's hard to say because you can get them again now.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of having shoes in a gallery that are pre-owned.
Yep.
You know, that they've been worn, that there's a sentiment in them. Like a pair of vintage Jordan 1s is incredible because they're just a great shoe, and like for me, they're the foundation of a great high top.
Yep.
I'm very proud that we are involved and feel very honoured to have the opportunity to showcase things that we've really put that same amount of energy in. And it's just really nice that this stuff is being recognised globally as an art and design movement.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for coming in, Matt. It was amazing. Thank you.